Thank you, Dilrisha. Our next speaker specializes in communication and creating connections. He's traveled around the country working on social and emotional learning with Challenge Day and currently works at College, where he strives to empower the modern day youth. Please give it up, born and raised in Menlo Park, please give it up for Mr. Evert Zelaya.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me if I don't use the mic? Switching the bottom.
The box on top of it.
Okay. How about now? There we go. There we go. Okay. Hey everyone. Everyone, high five someone sitting next to you. Say thank you for being here. Say go ahead. Thank you for being here. And also a huge round of applause for all the students that put this together as well this evening, because they did a great job on that. Let me introduce myself as the slides upload. My name is Evert Zelaya, and I work for a program called College. It's a gap year program based in San Francisco, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a second. So to start off, this is the founder of our organization, and his name is Dale Stevens. He started a blog called College a few years ago because he did not like his experience in school. So he wrote the book called Hacking Your Education. So I'm going to focus on a few things during this presentation because we see different trends happening in higher education that I want to touch on today. The first thing is changes in education. The second is the gap year. I know that most of you, probably 98% of you or higher probably are already planning to go to a four-year college, and I want to talk about if that's actually a good thing for you in the moment. The idea of a gap year, because Canada, Australia, Europe, they're already on it. It's actually very normal to take a gap year program before you go on to a four-year university. And then 3 fellow stories. So in our program, we don't have students, we call them fellows. So I'm going to talk about some stories of people that actually have gone through our program. Some of the biggest exposure that our organization has gotten, we were on this documentary, Ivory Tower. Raise your hand if you've seen that documentary before. Anyone? Not one person. Okay. So it was featured on CNN, done by Katie Couric. Ivory Tower, pretty much a lot of high school staff and counselors have seen this documentary before. It just talks about the trends that we see in college and how the things like costs are really exploding and the actual what you can get out of a bachelor's degree. As you guys know, the media loves talking about college, if it's worth it or if it's not worth it. There's books that are being written. There's a lot of articles in the New York Times, Washington Post, a lot of blogs cover the actual effectiveness of a four-year education. This graph here talks about what we really get from, what we seek and what we get from a traditional four-year college degree. So those are the inner 4 tiles: knowledge acquisition, access to opportunities, personal transformation, cognitive and employable skills. So these are the things that we typically get from a traditional college experience. But what we found out is through hard skills and through soft skills, there's a lot of other things that we need that a lot of times college, the traditional college experience doesn't really provide. Okay, so I want to tell you the story of our founder. This is Dale Stevens, our founder. Contrary to what you may think, he did not dress up as Huckleberry Finn every single day. I don't know why that picture is up there like that, but here's the story. Dale, he actually dropped out of school in the 5th grade. And 5th grade, he came to his parents and he said, I don't want to go to school anymore. And his parents said, okay. His mom at the time was a teacher. His dad was a civil engineer. So they both were very highly educated people, but they knew that he wasn't having a good experience with going to school, so he dropped out and he became a self-directed learner. In his time, he didn't just sit on the couch and play video games all day. He was a very, very ambitious, very bright individual. In his time, he contributed to political campaigns. If there was something like learning instruments, he went out and actually learned it himself and got tutors or teachers to help him out. He helped build a library in his hometown. He also interned for tech companies in Europe as well. And talking about the self-learning process via public schools. You guys know you're going to be going to a traditional four-year education. It's not a surprise, it was mentioned before, the cost of college tuition is becoming astronomical. $20, $30, $40, $50, $60, $70,000 per year for a college education, and it's not going down anytime soon. There's a lot of information, a lot of studies that talk about this. Again, The Atlantic. The average student in 2012 that graduated $29,000 of debt. In the year 2016, it's gone up much higher than that. Also, what we're finding out is that there are alternative methods of education. If anyone's ever heard of the second one there, General Assembly. General Assembly is actually, we partner with this company. They are a coding boot camp, and if anyone doesn't know about that, they focus on hard skills. So instead of going to a traditional four-year college and getting a degree in computer science, they teach full stack development, C++, programming languages, Python, Ruby on Rails, JavaScript. You can focus on data science. So after going through a 3-month boot camp, you go right into the workforce. They have job placement, and the average job is paying $90,000 a year going right into that boot camp, right out of that boot camp. And then if you focus on data science, the average salary for that one is $116,000 per year. So people are now short-circuiting or hacking their educational experience. Moving on. There we go. So let me talk to you guys about college and what it is that we do. So a few years ago, Dale Stevens, he started off a blog. It turned into a book, and that book evolved into an on-college program. Some of you may know who Peter Thiel is. He's a very successful venture capitalist. He's a billionaire. A few years ago, he said, I'm going to give 24 people $100,000 to not go to college, to start your dream project right here, right now. One of the people that he chose was Dale Stevens, and with that $100,000, he started Uncollege because he didn't believe in the traditional college experience, so he wanted to create a gap year program. So Uncollege, it works like this. Applicants that go through our program, a third of our applicants start our program right after high school. Part of them, we have one of them right now, he went to Boulder University for 2 years. He's taken a break between his sophomore and junior year, and he's doing our program right now. And then also some fellows, we also have an applicant that just graduated from Berkeley, and he's applying for our program after his graduation. So it's a different types of people that go through our program. When they first go through our program, you get to choose between Bali, Brazil, and Mexico. And you stay there for 3 months with other Uncollege fellows. So while you're there, you volunteer, you can teach a specific language, you can help build a home, you can take care of animals, work on environmental advocacy, so on and so forth. And you stay there for a 3-month period, and while you're there, you get one-on-one coaching. That's what I do. I'm a program specialist, I'm a coach, so I help people set up a foundation of what they want to focus on during launch. After they go to their international location, they come to San Francisco. And while they're in the city, we have what's called the launch phase. It is a 10-week intensive, what we like to call it, a certain way, it's a boot camp. During that launch phase, they get one-on-one coaching, and to give you guys some perspectives, we had a young man named Bobby DiLorenzo, and both of his parents are doctors. He came to our program, and the only thing he wanted to know was how to program. There's a programming engine called Unreal, and he's into video game design, and he wanted to intern for a company right after going through our boot camp. We have a person that really wanted to was a glass blower. She really was into art and wanted to learn how to do glass blowing. I've never done that before, but what happens is we utilize our network to help them accelerate their path. During that launch phase, again, they get one-on-one coaching. So starting at about week 2 or 3, we start focusing on where they want to intern. During that time, they get workshops 4 days a week for that entire 10-week period. And these workshops are things that in my experience, to a person who went to the traditional education route, we focus on things that are not taught in traditional schools and/or four-year institutions, such as how to advocate for yourself. How to work on self-esteem. We will focus on finances. I did a finance class yesterday, and these are people that went to really, really affluent neighborhoods and great schools. They had no idea what the difference was between a 401k and a Roth IRA, right? They had no idea how a credit score can impact your life. They had no idea. So these things are really, really essential pieces of information that can. So That's the launch phase that they go through, and it's again, it's a very intensive 10-week program. And then after that, we focus on an internship phase. And the internship phase is where you get, is where you go right into the workforce. And then some fellows have been in fashion design, worked for venture capital firms, they've started their own gaming companies, they've traveled to other countries, and because of our network, because of the Teal Fellowship along with Dale, the reason he wasn't able to be here today is because he's in Munich. In the last 3 years, he's done over 200 speaking engagements. So every time that he travels, or I travel, I just came back from Hawaii doing a tour, we expand our network. So no matter what your interest is, whether it be gaming, it's not just technology, whether it be gaming, whether it be fashion, whether it be starting your own company, we utilize our network to help accelerate your path in your internship. Another person, Nick Mares, he is currently 19 years old. He finished the program last year. He came to our program and he said, I want to start my own company and I want to start a bone broth company. And I can't see your faces, but some of you probably are saying, what the heck is bone broth? So bone broth, it's just, it's the kind of liquid that's used in cooking. You know, it's from beef or chicken. So he wanted to start a bone broth company, and we utilized our network, and we helped connect him with people that are entrepreneurs and venture capitalists and so on and so forth. And again, he's 19 years old, and he just places products in Trader Joe's and Whole Foods. His company is currently making $100,000 per month, and he's not even 20 years old. And he just signed a deal with the Los Angeles Lakers to provide his product over to you know, obviously Laker games and so forth. These are some of the partners that we have. Galvanize, it's a community workspace. H-Farm, Electronic Arts. Women 2.0, which is a company and organization that encourages women to code and to get to the workforce in that capacity. We have students that, such as Tim, who went to Penn State and didn't like, changed his major several times, and then now he's working for Lightco. I don't know if you guys have seen these Facebook ads for this camera that's about the size of a cell phone that has 16 different lenses on it, and they're just disrupting the camera industry. So he's now working full time for them. He never went back to college. And we have a person right here, such as Carrie, who didn't get her top choice in college, went through our program, and now she's on a full ride scholarship at Temple University. So yeah, it's a great program. What I really want to encourage you guys to do is that you guys should be going to college, and that's great. I went to college as well, but I want you to just pause for a second and say why. Because what is important to you? How do you want to make a contribution to this world? Whether you go through a program or not, it doesn't matter. But to graduate at 18 years of age and then focus on what you want to do for the rest of your life and then finish college at 22, I mean, people burn out. And then also you spend so much money on a college education, and you switch your majors so many times. I have a cousin of mine who's going to University of Arizona, and she's majoring in nursing because she liked a particular science class that she had. What if you actually start, calling people in a particular profession to make sure that's something that you really want to do? It's okay if you go through 1 year to figure out what's important, whether it be a gap year program and you learn soft skills or you travel. Making an impact in the world is the most important thing. So. That's it. If you guys have any questions, I have books, I have cards, I can make sure to exchange contact info. So thank you so much.